This week on Dream Car Garage, we've got a dream car that's probably as American as mom and apple pie and is the most recognized dream car of all. It's said the '57 Chevy Bel Air Convertible started the whole collector car phenomena. Now, like most cars of the 50s, you could order this two ways, as a luxury cruiser or as a hot rod. And if you ordered it like a hot rod, you probably didn't want a whole bunch of luxury options. What you wanted, what was under the hood. And there was a variety of motors. You had a 283 Power Pack, which was a single 4. You had a 4-barrel car with the Batwing air cleaner, or you had a fuel-injected car if you really wanted to tear up the road. Although this car was ordered as a hot rod, there was a whole array of options you could get for these cars. You could get factory air conditioning, you could get power steering, you could get power brakes, you could get a Continental kit, you could get the fender skirts, power top, you could get a whole array of interior options, you could get even a tissue dispenser, would you believe that? But probably the most famous feature of a '57 Chevy Bel Air has got to be the fins. Of course, what made the Bel Air famous was the fins, and the Bel Air package had a bunch of trim options. This aluminum insert in between the stainless steel moldings, and of course all the gold trim was unique to a Bel Air. The gold front grille was unique to a Bel Air. But that's not where it stopped, it continued on in the interior. The Bel Air upgrade carries on with the deluxe interior, and of course on the dash you have the Bel Air trim, and on the steering wheel you have some more Bel Air trim. But when we took this car for a ride earlier, the real pleasure in this car is the performance. This car was ordered as a performance car. And think about it, 2 4-barrels on a 283 cubic inch motor making 270 horsepower, that's almost 1 horsepower per cubic inch. It's gonna get up and go. Car maybe isn't the best handling car, but for 1957, a big 4-person car, this thing really got around the track as well. One of the nice things about this car, while we're sitting in here, is you can appreciate the quality of the restoration. This thing is flawless. I first saw this car a couple years ago and fell in love with this car. This is the sort of restoration we would do out of our shop. The quality on the fit and finish is perfect. You look at the upholstery, all the upholstery is pulled tight. The dash has been sanded and polished. There's no orange peel in the dash. If you look at the bows for the convertible top, they're all perfect. All of the chrome and stainless on this car has been redone. It is flawless. Everything on this car is perfect. Let me show you the rest of this car. It's a real treat. Having been in the restoration business for 15 years, I can really appreciate a straight body. And this thing is die straight. It's way better than it was when it left the factory. Somebody spent hours and hours blocking out this car. But they didn't stop there. If you look at the door jambs, the gaps are perfect. And that's not all of it. This car has so much stainless steel on it, it's hard to get it to line up from fender to door to quarter panel. Somebody spent a lot of hours making that fit. It didn't stop there though. The trunk on this car is spectacular. Whoever restored this car wanted to make this car jewelry. It's not often you see the underside of a trunk lid and the interior compartment of the trunk lid actually sanded and polished. Somebody probably spent another 30 hours buffing the inside of a trunk lid. Underneath the mat, exactly the same. Painted nicer than most cars on the top surfaces. How about the spare wheel and the jack? All the attention to the right decals and the right sort of plating on this car makes it exceptional. And how about the top on this car? Where most tops, when they're stretched across the bows, they have a bunch of sags in it. This top looks like it's been painted on. A real professional put this on. But probably the highlight of this car has to be the engine bay and undercarriage. Like I said earlier, this car is more like jewelry than a car. If you look at the engine bay, it's fabulous. The top of the rad, it's been sanded and polished. The front pan, it's been sanded and polished. The engine bay, the manifolds, the steering box, all the right little paint dabs on it, all the right decals look brand new on this thing. Look at the master cylinder. I mean, the cork is perfect on the thing. The wiring harness is like new. The undercarriage on this car, the rear end, is way better than it ever left. There's no metal marks even on this thing. Somebody's filled in everything. This car is way above what the car looked like when it left the factory. A restoration like this, again, 6 figures, and I bet you this car here is probably the first Batwing '57 Chevy Bel Air to break 6 figures as well.